Got my man Collier with me to talk some ball. Yeah. You all right? You good?
Oh, yeah,
Sir.
good.
You can expect that.
I did not.
No, man. First off, man, take me through the first 2 weeks and assess the play of your group in particular, and what do you think you guys can improve on?
I assessing it, I just don't think it's been to our standard. I think up front we have a certain standard at Georgia that we come out and we take over games, and we haven't done that these past 2 weeks. I think it's everything that we can fix technique-wise, physicality-wise, coming in with a mindset that we want to take over games and be the most physical unit on this team. And I don't think we've shown that the past 2 weeks, but I think everything that we've done wrong can be improved on, and a lot of it starts with techniques, communication, and just trying to be more physical, like making that an emphasis. And I think it starts, like I said earlier, practice, going out there with that mindset that we're going to be the most physical unit on this team.
And sometimes talking about the offensive line doesn't get the credit. Sometimes the offensive line coach doesn't get all the credit he deserves. Take me through what it's like to play for a guy like Coach Searles.
Well, not getting the credit, I think it's what you sign up for when you know you're going to be an offensive lineman. It's all a lot of dirty work, and Coach Searles, I think, knows that, and he appreciates us for it. It's on the offensive line, you can't have egos. It's 5 guys working together at a time, and if one of them is against the other 4, then it's not going to work. But playing for Coach Searles, I like it a lot. I love it. He's going to always shoot you straight, never sugarcoat it. He's going to tell you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing good. He's going to come to work. He's going to come to practice every day with the same energy, come to film with the same energy, and he expects us to hold the standard.
Now, last 2 weeks have been cool, obviously getting the season started, but this week is a little bit different. We can all admit playing your first SEC game at home. Take me through the emotion of what it feels like when you get that first SEC opponent coming to town, and it's 3:30 prime time, and you know it's going to be a big game.
It's different. It for sure is different in a good way. But in my mind, I try to prepare every game the exact same way, no matter who we're playing. Just going week by week, because I think I have a method to things that if I keep on that track every week, it's going to help me prepare and know what they do and know what we're going to do against it to help me the most.
The ultimate compliment, I think, comes from your peers. And I talked to Pop, and Pop said, man, going against Sid, going against Trust, going against Tate every single week, every single day makes the game so much easier. When you hear that, what does it mean to you?
It means a lot, but I could say the exact same thing about them. Pop, physical. Yeah. He's going to come down and hit you. And I think the D-line, the front 7 we have going against them every day in practice, I think carrying over to games, it makes games a lot easier for us just because they don't do much that we haven't seen before, and they're a really physical group up front. So going against those guys every day and just competing just I think really helps all of us.
Front 7 of South Carolina obviously going to come in here and want to create some havoc. They're going to look back last week and say, hey, those guys didn't, hardly rush for 100 yards. When you look at South Carolina, what are some of the things that you look at and say, all right, we got to make sure we do this on Saturday?
I haven't gotten a chance to look at them yet. I know they have returning players from last year, and right now I'm in the process of still trying to review the last game and see what I can improve on. I'm going to get into them tonight, but I've got a lot of respect for them. They have a physical football team. I do know that. They were one last year, and I don't think it's changed over the years. I think they're going to come and give us the best game they have, and we just got to go out there and execute regardless.
Tell me about your quarterback. One, what is he like in the game, in the huddle? What are you seeing from the last 2 weeks? And 2, are you still cutting his hair?
He's a competitor.
Yeah.
All around, just always wanting to compete, always wanting to go out there and put the best product on the field for us to win. And I see that from him day in and day out. And I never cut his hair; he always cut mine.
Oh, okay.
He still cuts it every now and then, but hasn't the past couple times.
Would you say you got the best hair on the team?
Yeah, for sure.
Week 1, Trust wore the 77.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, it was said. See the tattoo. What does it mean to wear Dev's number 77 each week, and you guys get to represent him in that way?
It's an honor. We said we were going to do it before the season, and we didn't want to see it as pressure because some people say like, oh, they're wearing Dev's number. It's a lot of pressure for them to like perform this week. No, it's an honor.
Yeah.
We're just trying to be like Dev, just be positive every day, go out there and put our best foot forward, which he did every day, come to work every day, and wearing 77 is an honor. It truly is.
Appreciate you, man. We'll get it done.
The standard's the standard, boys. That's what I heard. Now it's time for the Motor City Mullet to take his seat upon this throne. Now we're trying to get into character tonight just a little bit, but I had to bring this in, y'all. Like, come on, man. Did you not hear the number that he was representing? Number 77. This was back in 2023. Yeah, I mean, the similarities to what's going on today with the Lions and what just happened, I mean, man, does that just, like the coincidences that you're getting from this, it gives me goosebumps everywhere. Just thinking about, number one, Tate Ratledge and how he has grown. I got a second video that I'm going to queue up in just a moment after we get through a few things that I wanted to pull out from this video. Number one, what did you notice? Right, that's the first question. And I noticed a lot. I noticed that, well, first and foremost, like, did you notice the hair? Did you see the new haircut? Tate cut my hair too. I had at least, you didn't notice, did you? At all. I can't see anything either, by the way. The Motor City Mullet, it's real. I'm going to be selling these things to try to raise money for Rockhound Cancer Foundation. I better see like 30,000 people with these things on in week one. But anyway, we'll put them up here in the next couple of days. I'm definitely going to be wearing it. It's going to be added to the fit, that's for sure. But anyway, what else did you notice about Tate back then and in who he is today? His arms, right? Clean arms. Now he's tatted up with sleeves. So he's a perfect fit for who the Lions are, especially the offensive line. Number two, the guy's just super humble, man. Just a super humble guy. No egos, exactly what he said in that video. I'm reading verbatim from my notes. Don't expect credit when he was asked, what it's like to play for Searles. Don't expect credit. The offensive line, man, is a bunch of dirty work. And just don't expect, just do your job. You're going to get told straight. He loves to be told straight. And bring the energy, because Searles is bringing the energy, and they had to bring the energy. And then lastly, man, the standard's the standard, boys. Like, come on. The standard's the standard. It's been that way in Detroit. Dan Campbell expects the standard to stay the standard no matter who's in that game. And that's why I wanted to do this tonight. This quick live tonight was because a lot of us have some feelings about Frank Ragnow. There's some of the fan base that is kind of pissed off about Frank Ragnow. And what I'm here to assure you once again is that the standard will remain the standard. We lost 21 guys at one point to IR last year, and we won football games. The defense held the standard. The offense in 2025 is going to hold the standard, and dare I say they will not drop a step. So I'm excited to see where Tate Ratledge ends up on this offensive line. Is he going to end up being our center of the future? I got to believe. Dan Campbell knew this was coming down the pike. Brad Holmes knew this was coming down before the draft. There's a reason why Tate Ratledge is on this team, and it's more than just being a guard. Look at this squad. Yeah, Graham's going to be the center to start. But what is the future for Tate if it doesn't happen this year? We already know that this guy is an extremely smart football player. I think his future could be hiking the ball to Jared Goff. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens this year. But just bringing in a couple of guards, I don't think that was the plan for Brad Holmes. I think that everything that he did was surgical. Now that when we look back at this draft, I think that everything that Brad Holmes did was right on pace to be prepared for Frank Ragnow as much as he could be, and still sticking to best player available and not reaching for some needs. Man, just this guy's cold. Like, he's got ice in his veins, cold. So the Motor City Mullet, this could end up being a character coming to you soon here in a different channel, different vibe, different me, different energy. We might try to switch it up a little bit this year and get into character mode and have some fun. Let me bring in the second video. This one is kind of just, who is Tate? Let's get to know Tate on a more personal level. doing the things that he loves to do. And then when I come back, I'll jump into the chat and we'll have good conversation. Here you go. Here's video 2.
All right, 6:30. Cade killed one about 15 minutes ago. Army crawled up to it, dusted it in that field, another food plot. So if I can get it done here, then we've tagged out together in the same day. So be a pretty good deal. We're about to try to sneak up in this food plot here. Saw these 2 birds last night. One Jake, and what we think's a long beard. Didn't get a good look at him, but he's got a full fan. There's tracks all over the place here. These birds have been hunted, so we know we're not gonna be able to call them in. So we're about to sit here and deer hunt them and wait on them.
I mean, there's sign everywhere. There's sign everywhere.
See if we can get it done.
Try to creep down here into this corner. See what we can do.
Public service announcement. There's some pictures of things that go boom and rat-a-tat-tat-tat in this video.
We're gonna set up right here. As long as Cade doesn't touch his calls, we should be good.
He's at the other end of the food plot, right in front of the big traps. Just wait. Here comes the Jakes. It's a hen. Just wait.
The dude is definitely down to earth. You know what I'm saying? He loves just to be a human on the weekends, you know?
They're coming though. Yeah. Strut. Just don't move. Aim small. Whenever you get a shot, take it whenever you get a shot. Kill him. Kill him.
Oh, this dude is just too fun.
God, that was so awesome.
Yeah, you might want to turn away if you don't know what this stuff's all about.
Really?
What's what you think?
Yep. Well, that literally never happens. Did exactly what we wanted them to. Didn't call, and they came running from over there.
Came set up right here in this corner. Boom.
Took off running.
Locked him in. That'll work. Give me some.
Come on.
All right. Yes, we had a little bit of a wardrobe change. Ladies and gentlemen, Tate Ratledge, give him a round of applause because this guy, I mean, not only can he do the thing in the woods, but the dance moves. I mean, come on. I can't wait to see this stuff on a Sunday. I don't care what city we're in, but yes, I plan on wearing the mullet to the games. It is now part of the fit, and we're going to get it up for sale here real soon. As soon as I can secure some inventory. Listen, Tate Ratledge, this is what this is tonight is all about. Tate, Frank, this offensive line. I want to try to be the calming voice. I know that there's a lot of panic out there. Let's not panic because we lost 1/5, and let's just be real. Frank Ragnow is irreplaceable. Now, if you didn't catch the early part, go back and listen to what Tate was talking about and representing number 77. This was back in 23, and this had something to do with, I think, a former player or a player for Georgia I don't know the full story. My bad. I didn't go dig into it like I should have. But that just, it gave chills to me because of the fact that, we bring this guy in and then 77 retires. So something there. Not sure what it is yet, but there's something there. But let's talk about this offensive line for just a moment. Like I was saying earlier, I have full belief in the fact that Brad knew something was up. And he was going to do whatever he could do to make sure that we were as prepared, the Lions, as prepared as a team as they could be. We know that Brad goes BPA all day, and he says that he doesn't waver from that. It was funny that when I was calling this pick live at Radio Row, and I called Tate Ratledge, I was confident that it was Tate Ratledge, and then the pick comes in, and it's Tate Ratledge. It just made perfect sense by the board that I was looking at our depth chart, and then thinking of the future. It just made sense. But I never thought of Tate Ratledge as a center, and I never thought of Tate Ratledge potentially replacing Frank Ragnow. Tate has never played center. Not one snap. Miles Frazier, not one snap in college. And if you didn't catch the morning show, I discussed that, where neither one of those players have taken a snap at center. What they're doing in OTAs is simply just, Hank Fraley doing what he does every year, just cross-training everybody. So it doesn't mean that one of these guys can't do it. It doesn't mean that Christian Mahogany couldn't do it. It doesn't mean that these guys can't learn. I mean, playing offensive line, it's no different at whatever position you're at. It's just the center has an extremely tough job, calling out all of the plays, all of the line formations, communicating with the quarterback, the nonverbal cues. I mean, everything that you have to learn is incredible. I would say that between center and tight end and quarterback and probably middle linebacker, the hardest positions to learn on the football field. Why do you think Tate comes in? The dude is so intelligent. I mean, from everything that I've read and listened to and people that have spoken about him, how smart that he really is. And I don't think that that's a surprise, because Frank Ragnow, by the way, what was he, a third-round pick out of Arkansas, also an extremely intelligent individual. And that's why the guy plays, center, because he has to be smart. Look something up real quick. Tate Ratledge's RAS score, this just blew me away. 9.98. This was in 2025. 9.98. Of course, out of a possible of 10. Now, he was in the green in every category outside of the weight category at 308. He is a very mobile guard, extremely mobile guard. He might need to add another 10 pounds to play center. But then again, his arm length is right there for, to be a guard, and it's I think longer than Frank Ragnow's, possibly. Can't remember now. But 32 and a quarter inch arms is perfect for center or guard, right? You don't have to have extremely long arms. But having that 9.98, it really doesn't take into account, by the way, 10 and 3/8 inch hands. I mean, just big mitts, right? Perfect to be able to hold on to a football, especially when it's cold out or icy or wet or whatever. This doesn't really take into account his intelligence, though. The intelligence factor comes from everybody else that you're going to read about or read on talking about Tate Ratledge and what he did for that Georgia line and how intelligent he was. So I'm less worried. Okay, this is a huge blow to the Detroit Lions offense, without a doubt. It's a huge blow. Frank has been probably one of the most consistent offensive linemen that we've had on this offensive line outside of Penei Sewell. Taylor Decker's kind of, had a little bit of a, falling down effect, if you will, over the last couple of seasons. Has not been as consistent. It's been giving up some more pressures and some more sacks. But there were some times this last year that Frank also had a couple of difficulties in a couple of games. But the large picture for Frank is, man, he played clean. And I didn't want anybody else in front of Jared Goff, protecting him. But I'm trying to bring the temperature down. And I'm trying to do it with a little bit of, facts here that Tate, in my opinion, can slide in at some point and learn the game and learn how to be a center and probably be a really good center for a long time in this league. It doesn't mean that that's going to happen. But I'm less concerned now that we don't have an open guard spot, and there's a reason why Brad did what he did. You bring in a high-level guard in the second round so that you do know that you have a guy that can slide in right away and level up whatever side he's on. Imagine if, you're going to hate this, some of you, imagine if Brad went and took a defensive end in the second round. And then we find out Frank retires. Then what? What if we didn't get a guard until the 5th or 6th round? And then we still have Giovanni Manu, who's supposed to be a tackle, and he's a project. And then we have Mahogany. Well, now what are we going to do? If you go and look at who's available right now, there's really nobody out there. There really isn't. Nobody that is as good as we have on this football team right now without going out and spending big-time money, or a trade. That's about the only options the Lions would really have. Everybody sitting on their couch right now is no better than what we have on the team. So imagine, again, for a moment that we don't take a second-round pick guard, and now we're left with 2 wide open holes. Essentially because Frank's gone, got to fill that hole with Graham, and then now you need to slide in a guard that doesn't either have the experience or was a project, or in, Manu's case, didn't play any guard, I don't think, during his time at UBC. So, yeah, it could have been a much bigger nightmare. Someone made a comment, I think it was Will Carter in the chat, said something to the point that he wouldn't put it past the fact that maybe Frank helped Brad scout the future at the position. My only question with this for Brad, and I think the biggest glaring question that I have found around this whole scenario is Jared Wilson was available where Isaac Tesla was sitting, right? Or near to that pick. 96, I think. Why didn't he double down? We'll never know. But again, we know that Brad doesn't pick for need. But you literally could have had 2 of the best prospects in this draft, one being a guard, one being a center, and you could have locked it up in the 2nd and 3rd round. And yeah, the guys that you have on the team now, there would have been a couple of casualties, Aguakan or Nice. Both of those guys probably would have been gone, or at least one of them had Brad done that. But he didn't. And he feels confident with what we have. Doesn't mean that this roster is set. And by no means do I believe that this totally came out of left field for Brad. It came out of left field for us. I had to listen to Justin Rogers today, and he kind of was saying the same thing. If you guys haven't had a chance to listen to Justin Rogers on YouTube, he just recently started doing some YouTube stuff. Take a listen, because he's spoken to Frank a few times. And, I don't want to say that I started the fire, so to speak, but there was a couple of things where, last year I reported that Frank was potentially going to hang it up. And, part of that was right after the NFC Championship game in 2023, based on what was, said. And a lot of us maybe took that and ran with it a little bit too far. And then Frank came back and said that he was going to play again. But it was the body language that I saw out of Frank that told me he was fighting some demons of playing this game, that his body was just too broken. I mean, look at the major injuries that he has gone through. Major injury, a broken throat. I only know of one other person that you could say had a broken throat in their lifetime, and that is me. I had my windpipe crushed when I was 16 in Golden Gloves boxing. So I don't know if that equates to a broken throat. I don't even know what a broken throat is, but I would think that my, crushed windpipe at the time, I think that's got to be pretty close. And that's partially why I have tone issues today. So anyway, I would love to know your level of concern. And what do you think about Tate Ratledge? Now that you got to know him a little bit, I don't know if you've seen those videos before, but I wanted to highlight him and try to let's simmer it down just a little bit. Let this team get into camp and do what they do. Dan Campbell's a hell of a coach, and Hank Fraley's a hell of a coach. I have full confidence in what they've been able to pull off and what they're able to do, when they have a full deck. So we're somewhere between there right now, but we are much closer to a full deck than we are, at the position that we were last season with 21 guys at one point on IR and 16 after the Bills game was just asinine. It was crazy. So, all right, let me get into the chat for a moment. Marcus Newsom says, Tate Ratledge is going to fit right in. I would be surprised 0% if Frazier and Mahogany are the starting guards. Glasgow being proven solid at guard and center makes him the best backup by default. I agree. I think the immediate center starting position goes to Graham Glasgow right now. And I would not be surprised. I think I put that out on Twitter yesterday or maybe today. That's your offensive line. It's Sewell, it's Ratledge, it's Glasgow, it's Mahogany, and it's Taylor Decker. But I will say this, we're going to need a left tackle at some point. And I hope that Brad doesn't wait. I am all in for spending a first-round pick next year on either a defensive end, depending on how Ahmed Hassanen works out this season and the rest of the guys, or a left tackle. Like that would be the choice for me. One of those two, at least right now. Todd Boudry says 3 months is plenty of time to get it figured out. That's a good point. Let's reflect on that for a moment. So if you have that much time to learn your job, whatever job that is that you do, even as a rookie or a greenhorn, depending on what type of position you have, 3 months is a long time to learn some systems, right? These guys have been playing college ball at Georgia, right? Nonetheless, LSU, very involved football programs, very intelligent football programs, programs that are at the top of echelon of the FBS. If you don't think that they don't have some pro systems involved there, they do. So to go from guard to center is going to be a much easier transition because of where these guys were playing, depending on who takes that opportunity. But Graham Glasgow having done it, for all you Michigan fans out there, wasn't Glasgow the center at Michigan? So, I think he played guard as well, but wasn't he not the center? At least in his senior year, I thought he was the center at Michigan. You Michigan fans will have to let me know. Mike P. asked me if I'm giving up on Manu. No, not at all. Given the situation, I would have thought that Manu had an opportunity. If you're talking about left tackle, no, I'm not giving up on Manu. But given the situation now that we've lost Frank, we have to see where Manu is this summer. If he's pushing, somebody for a starting spot, then I'll feel good. But he's not going to push Decker this year. And there's been speculation and some talk by Brad Holmes that playing guard is a potential. Given this situation, I don't know if that makes a ton of sense. Putting him at guard right now, learning a new position, and coming from where he came from. Now, what I just said a minute ago would totally be hypocritical of what I just said now. It's a different situation. You're talking, University of British Columbia versus LSU, right? Big difference. Huge difference. I would say a 2-year difference as far as, learning on the job is what you've gained. In 1 year of LSU, you've probably gained 2 years over any UBC guy. Just my weird thought process on that. Let me slide back here. Super Bowl Wilson says Frank played guard as a rookie. Let Graham play center while Tate learns the offense. It's a good point. It's a good point, too. King SJ's in the house. Says, agree about the offensive tackle position and potentially spending a first rounder soon. I'm all in on trenches. Always have been. It's always been the interior defensive line and your tackles on the offensive line to me that matter the most. And trying to stay ahead of the curve. If you can have guys that, deserve to play and play at a high level, then you're in a good position, right? If you got guys that are pissed off because they're not playing and they should be playing, I don't think the Lions are going to have a problem in the locker room because of that. I think it's just going to give them the depth that they need. And I think the right football players will understand that their time is coming at some point, dependent upon the situation, especially with with Taylor Decker's situation here. Marcus Newsom says Mason Miller played with Zabel. Yes, he did. I'm high on Mason Miller right now. There's been some good conversation coming out in OTAs, but it's just OTAs, right? We got to see camp. We got to see pads. What are these guys doing? I got a question on pads too, which I'll get to at the end. It's nothing to do with the Lions. Let me wind back the chat a little bit. Yeah, if you guys haven't given Riley a big happy birthday today, it is his 36th birthday. Please give him a shout out whenever you see him or in the chat today. A big happy birthday. I think I missed a super chat. I swear I just saw it fly by. Yep. Michael Garrity, thank you for the $2 super chat. He said everyone wish a happy birthday to Riley. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's Sam Kraut's in the house. What did he say? Just saw your name fly by. He says, J-Raj is a great commentator, has an awesome platform on Substack. Search Detroit Football Network. There you go. Also on YouTube. Good stuff. Marcus Newsom says Ratledge was the sole offensive captain on a back-to-back North Carolina team, oozing battle-tested leadership skills, the leader of men that is soon to be the next great Lions center. God bless Holmes. Go Lions. Yeah, he does ooze captain material at some point, and that is something that I also took away from the interview there. From again, that was 2023, Tate Ratledge. So we're talking 2 seasons ago, right? 23, 20, maybe one season ago. So, well, no, it was 2 seasons ago. But anyway, no egos. Like I said, don't expect credit. It's dirty work. Loves to be told straight. The standard is the standard. I mean, all of those things coming out of his mouth, it's telling me that he's a perfect fit in Detroit. I think he's going to have a good career. I hope it's a long career. I hope he stays healthy. But he has an infectious attitude already. I think he's going to be, just a guy that gets along with everybody. And I mean, the videos that we just watched just now, I think it kind of points to that. You get to see him in his human element where he's away from football and he's doing the things that he loves, and you can see the energy that he has and the type of, individual that he is. Now, by the way, that's nothing from what I've seen and heard about Tate Ratledge. Like, this guy is a world-class hunter. Like, he has racks upon racks and stacks of racks upon those stacks in some cabin somewhere. And it's not just racks. I mean, it's like every type of animal. I know there's some animal-loving individuals that don't appreciate that, but that steak on your plate didn't get there. Just didn't grow on trees. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, just a good overall, human, man. So in a football player, I think Tate's going to fit nicely, and this offense is going to be doing some great things real soon. Any questions before I go? I just wanted to get in real quick and introduce the Motor City Mullet and have a quick conversation. Tampered, like let's tamper it down just a little bit. Let's not get all concerned just yet. Yeah, it hurt, it stung, and it's forever going to sting because, Frank's a big part of this team. How's he going to feel when we're hoisting a Lombardi this year? Is if he's not there, is he still going to feel he made the right decision for himself? And I bet you he had to ask himself that question. How am I going to feel when this team is hoisting a Lombardi in February of 2026 and I'm not there? To do what he has done, to put himself, he went through a lot. Frank went through a ton. And he's dealing with something that can never be fixed, which is that plantar plate. He had to say yes. He made the right decision. So good for Frank, whatever that is. I do hope that he gets a chance to come back. And it looks like Stain Vision just kind of said the same thing. They'll ask him to come back for the playoffs. I hope they do. And even if he's just on the roster, he's still going to get that Super Bowl ring. But you know damn well that's not going to be good enough for Frank. He's got to be in the game. He has to be. Here's the one thing that we can never live down about Frank. The reason why this team is so successful today, part of that responsibility is Frank. The way that he led this team, the way that he helped build this offensive line, he was one of the holdovers from the Quinn Trisha era. One of like 7. And now I think all of them are gone. If I'm not mistaken, who's left? Was Graham on the old team and now he's kind of came back, but he wasn't a holdover, so I don't think we can count him. Jalen Reeves-Maybin's gone. They might all be gone. I'm going to have to go back and look. Is that the end of the Quinn Trisha era? Am I getting that wrong? I'm going to have to look it up. But he was a big part of why this team has grown and developed the way that it has. Huge part. He helps set that culture and identity because he is that culture and identity. And look, if you want to catch in with Frank, right, touch in and watch what he's doing, just go follow him on the Grizzly Man Outdoors on YouTube. I'm sure that we're going to see him fishing in no time. Look, the bass are on the beds. I'm sure he's out there hammering them right now and just having a good time. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. So I'm going to finish this with my question. Yep, Decker is the only other one. The Vikings are practicing in pads and OTAs. And I've went and read the rules multiple times just to make sure that I'm reading it right, that they don't have a new coach, right? So that wouldn't give them any sort of an excuse. Not that that is an excuse, because it's not. Why are they in helmets and shoulder pads? From everything that I've read, you can't be in pads at all. You can have like knee pads and elbow pads, and that's it. Outside of helmets, I think you can wear, but no shoulder pads and no pants. So I don't get it. I don't know why the Vikings are able to practice, or maybe something's going to come down the line later. I'm not sure, but I keep getting asked that question, and I keep seeing it as things pop up on shorts, and I'm seeing like JJ McCarthy throwing deep bombs that everyone's thinking he's going to be this great quarterback, and I'm like, wait a second, you guys got shoulder pads and pants on and helmets. Like, isn't this against the rules? So, it is what it is. We'll see you guys in the morning. We got a full deck in the morning here. Well, some days I don't have a full deck, but we'll see you guys in the morning, and we'll get right back at it with the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Don't forget, if you want to be the first contestants on the game show, to email me, mailbag@rockdown.com. So we are going to do a football-themed game show, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be quick fire. You can join the screen live, either by, I didn't realize my mic was in front of my face the whole time. You can join the screen live, or you can call in and be part of it just with your voice and no image. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about being on screen if you don't want to be on screen. And no, we don't need your telephone number either. We just send you the link to your email, and then you join. So people that want to be part of it, we got to know like a week in advance so we can get it all set up and make sure that we have 3 contestants. So mailbag@rockdown.com. And that's where we'll set up the game show information. So, when is it happening? Good question, Kevin. It's going to happen soon. We're trying to put the ground. I'm hoping for next week. I was hoping for this week. It's not going to happen. I'm hoping for next week. And probably going to do it either Wednesdays or Fridays is my guess right now. I'm not sure. We'll see which day makes sense, but we're going to get it done. We're going to make sure it happens, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be some prizes and stuff like that involved too. So, all right, you guys have a good rest of your night. Crunch time's on at 8 p.m. And I'm going to go have dinner and try to figure out what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So you guys have a good one. Go One Pride, go Detroit Lions. My dog is like, dude, it's time to go. Go One Pride, go Detroit Lions. And we'll catch you next time. Motor City Mullet out.